how have you found the language of therapy? I mean, given so many of the sort of heavy traumas that you've experienced, how have you found that language helpful, and how have you found it inimical?
Well, I mean, that therapeutic language is obviously helpful. It's taught us all to reconceive of our past and to think of integrated personalities and to think of the way we have a self in the world and to develop that self and nurture that self. On the other hand, it's also taught us to think of ourself above other things often, and to put emphasis on the self as opposed to the community is the way I often experience it. And in the milieu that I'm in, I particularly see it as among children, their feelings get valued over responsibilities to the community. And the development of a child's psychological self becomes this fundamental good or fundamental goal. And I think that's a terrible mistake. I think that the community in which the person is raised is more important than the child's feelings. And often what we think may be bad for the kid, shame, for instance, might actually be good. And it might be a good thing to feel some shame in your life if you've done something wrong, and to try to repair that in the community. And I think that it's just part of the psychological culture that I certainly find myself in. We think too much of the self. And I think it's the great poison of poetry, actually, in the last 60, 70 years. And I think the poets that will last will be those who retained an old notion of being. That was their goal, and not some self, not some interrogation and excavation of the self and refinement of the self. And a lot of poetry has been devoted to that, and it's tedious.
Mm.